Welcome to your chair yoga practice. All you need is a chair. You don't have to change your clothes, just something that's easy to move around in when you're sitting. And I'm so excited to share this practice with you today. Our practice today is going to be one that is focused on core. But a lot of times when we hear this word core, we think abs, right? A lot of times we hear this whole thing like, oh, your core muscles and these types of things. And even though we will have a little bit of focus in that space, really what we're going to focus on today is the core of ourselves. So not just about our abs and how strong our middle muscles are, but also the core of how we're feeling and where our mind is, and just checking in with ourselves to see what it is that we need today. So let's go ahead and get started. I invite you to come to a comfortable place in your seat. If you have armrests on your chair, maybe you rest your arms there or down in your lap. And you can sit on a chair with or without arms, or if you'd like to sit on a couch or another type of chair or bench, that's fine too. And as we come into this space for our practice, I invite you to close your eyes if that feels okay for you. A soft gaze downward is always welcome if closing the eyes doesn't feel comfortable. And as we start our practice, if you would like to lean back in the chair and kind of get comfy, maybe even allow the hips to come forward a little bit and let yourself just rest back. Turn your palms to face upward, releasing any extra tension or stress. And no need to have anything in a particular alignment right now. If it feels better for you to cross your legs for a little bit, that's fine too. So just take a few moments without having to look at me. Just say to yourself, okay, what's going to be comfortable for me right now? What is my mind and my body and my heart and the core of myself? What do I need to take right now as I start to invite myself into this practice? And start to notice what's here right now. So just all of the things that have shown up today, maybe sounds that you can hear in your room, the sound of my voice, anything else that comes in from your external world, even with your eyes closed. What are the things that you notice? And even the things that have made their way into your day so far. These are all of the external factors, the things that maybe we don't have any control over. They just happen, and we just have an opportunity to recognize them and maybe say, well, how does that affect me? How does it affect me to hear a dog barking next door? Or how does it affect me to hear the kids walking across the street on their lunch break? Whatever it might be. Through our meditation practices, we give ourselves the opportunity to just be with everything. And so maybe we tap into that a little bit today too. But we can also recognize how things land on us, how our own core is affected by things around us. And it's not about pointing fingers or trying to change everything around us. It's just about being aware. Recognizing how our outer world has affected our inner world, maybe even to our core. Start to breathe a little bit deeper. Breathe into the center of your body, wherever that is for you, maybe your belly or in your chest and heart. And again, as we move through this practice space today, yes, we will be focusing on our core and what we normally think of as core, these muscles of the abdominals as well as our back. But it's not just about that. The core of our body actually starts at the bottoms of our feet. And it works its way up on the inner aspect of the ankles and the legs, all the way up through the inner legs and up through the pelvic floor. And then kind of working its way up through the body like a core of an apple, all the way up through the crown of the head. So when you hear this word core, sometimes you might think six-pack abs or abdominal muscles, but that's not what core is all about. So let's see if we can tap into our core today, from the bottoms of our feet through the crown of our head, and also the core of what we need. So take a moment to ask yourself, what do I need a little bit more of today? Maybe it's a little bit of inspiration and motivation. Maybe it's a little bit of calm and balance. And see if you can use the movements in our practice today to supplement what you need, to add to that intention of what you're inviting in. Let's take a deep breath all the way in. And sigh the breath out, let it go. And if you're still relaxing back in your seat, kind of chilling and hanging out, see if you can sit up a little bit taller. Uncross the legs if they're crossed. Set the soles of the feet down on the floor in front of you. And start to sit up nice and tall and imagine this core space. From the bottoms of your feet, start to lift the arches up. Even if you have flat feet like I do, just imagine the arches starting to lift. And imagine that strength moving through the inner aspect of the legs. Lift up through the pelvic floor and pull your navel in. Ever so slightly tuck the tail down so you have a neutral pelvis here. And then as you start to draw your belly button toward your spine and your ribs soften together, lift up through the crown of your head as you roll your shoulders down away from the head. And just notice how your posture changes when you take awareness to the entire core of your body. Take another deep breath in. And open the mouth, exhale, sigh the breath out. Gently start to blink your eyes open if your eyes are still closed. And keep the soles of your feet rooted down to the floor and continue to lift up through the arches here. And from this space, we're going to really focus right now just on the core of our being, from the hips and the pelvis up and through the space of our neck and our shoulders. So take your awareness down to your hips. You can keep your hands on your thighs, palms face down, or even bring them to your hips if you don't have any obstruction of arms on the chair here. All of the awareness on the pelvis and hips, and start to tuck the pelvis under and then tilt the pelvis forward. So it's this tucking under and rounding forward of the pelvis, little pelvic tilts here. For some of us, it might be little movements, just a tiny little bit here. For others of us, you might start to notice your entire torso start to move. And then again, notice what happens to the core of your feet and your legs. Do they start kind of just hanging out and doing their own thing? Or maybe the feet start to relax to the sides. Can you continue to find the strength through the legs, pressing through the soles of your feet into the floor as you find these pelvic tilts here? A few more like this. Last 3, 2 more. And 1. Now come into neutral and just notice. Notice what happens if you tuck the tailbone way back and puff up the chest, finding a lot of back bend here. And then over-exaggerate the other way. Tuck the tailbone way under and round forward. A little bit off balance both of those ways. So come into a space of neutrality and find the place where it feels just right. It's that Goldilocks place, right? So it's not too much of an arching of the back. It's not too much of a rounding forward and tuck of the pelvis and the tailbone under. It's that space right in the middle. Keep your hands, palms facing down on the legs. If you'd like to scoot forward a little bit more here, you can. Keep your feet rooted down into the floor. And you can either hold on to the thighs or maybe the knees. And let's start to make big rib cage circles in one direction. I just automatically tend to close my eyes when I do this. It just feels really good. So if you'd like to close your eyes, you can. If it feels better to keep them open, that's okay too. And just imagine that your rib cage is like the barrel of a cement truck. So moving that barrel around, stirring the cement inside, and giving the core this center part of your body, that center part of the core, a little bit of a stir. Last 3 in this direction. 2 more. And 1 more. Start to make your circles in the opposite direction. And again, notice how your feet feel flat down on the floor. If it feels better to bring your hands up higher on the thighs, you can too. Maybe that helps with a straighter spine, more integrity through the spine, a little more alertness in the spine. And maybe moving in this direction, there are different sensations than there were in the opposite direction. So just notice. No judgment, just simply taking note. Okay, that's what I feel here. See if you can isolate the rib cage. And if you're moving the hips a lot and the shoulders, let's take a few moments just to isolate the rib cage here. Ooh, it's kind of hard. It might be a little bit challenging just to move the rib cage. A couple more circles in this direction. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come back into neutral here. Sit up nice and tall. Spread your arms out wide. Dodge any arms on the chair if you have them. And start to take your awareness to the core of your heart, your chest, and even the back side of the heart. So in between the shoulder blades. Again, we're not just focusing on our abdominal muscles here, but the center core of our being. Lift up a little bit higher. Now it's okay. Puff up the chest. Maybe even lift your head toward the sky. Try not to throw the head back though. A little tuck of the chin. Take an inhale like this. As you exhale, round through your back, reach your arms forward like you're diving into a pool, tailbone tucks under. Inhale, lift your heart, arms open wide. Exhale, round through your spine, reach your arms forward. Inhale to lift, exhale to round. Continue to move at your own pace. And just imagine that the energy moves from the base of your spine all the way up through the crown of your head. And just these movements help to move your energy around. So if you have any stuck energy or kind of feeling a little down today or stressed, imagine that these movements can just kind of clear it out. Clear out the space of your body, your mind, let it go. Maybe even taking some exhales out the mouth. And then these movements also give you the opportunity to invite in what you need. So come back to that intention that you set for yourself. And kind of imagine that with this movement, you are pumping that energy into your body, that which you need. And if you think that all of this is kind of silly and you're like, what is she talking about, these energies? Just lift the corners of your mouth to the sky. Just smile, maybe shake the head a little bit. No big deal. Take a few more like this. Last 3. Ooh, starting to feel it in the shoulders over here. Last 2. And 1. Slowly start to make your way all the way up. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands face down on your thighs. And pause for a moment and notice what you feel. Breathe deeply. For some of us, maybe we feel a little warmth and awakening in the space of the belly or the shoulders. I know that after all of those arm movements, I feel a little warmth in my shoulders. See if you can continue to bring your breathing, your breath into the space, into the center of your being, into the center of your core of your body. Deep breath all the way in. Exhale all the way out. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up toward the sky, maybe forward if you have arms on the chair. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms to face up. Bring your arms all the way up. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Sometimes they want to creep up into the ears. You can bend your elbows too if that feels better for you. So really mind what your body needs here today. And take a deep breath all the way in. As you exhale, start to twist your torso over toward the right. And then you might just stay here in this gentle twist. Maybe you take a gentle lean back here. So this takes a lot of effort in the core. And again, not just the abdominal muscles or the low back, but even through the feet flat down on the floor as well. Take a few more moments. Deep breath in. Exhale, straighten the spine, untwist. Full inhale, separate the hands, grab a hold of the left wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. And notice what happens. So maybe your shoulder starts to come down. See if you can spin your chest up toward the sky. You might even look up toward your ceiling. Or maybe you're practicing outside and you can see the sky. Notice what you feel. Reach over toward the right a little bit more. Maybe pull on the arm just a bit. Make sure nothing is compromised in your back. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up to a straight spine. Arms reach high. As you exhale, bring your arms forward and plant your hands down on your thighs. Give your shoulders a nice little wiggle out, maybe one shoulder at a time or both together. Whatever feels good for you. Inhale, reach your arms back up to the sky. Interlace your hands again, your fingers, palms all the way up. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Sneaky shoulders right there. Relax them, release. Again, your elbows can be bent, or you can even rest your hands on your head if that feels better for your body today. Take one more inhale. Exhale, twist your torso toward the left. It doesn't have to be a big twist. So it might just be an inch or two, and that's fine. Whatever feels good for your body. You might stay upright like this. Maybe you start to lean back a little bit and look up. But if there's any strain in the body, in your back, in your hips, in the front side of your core, your abdominal muscles, or even in your pinky finger, then just ease out. Inhale and exhale. If you're leaning back, slowly start to lift yourself up. Straighten your torso back, facing me. Take an inhale, separate the hands. Exhale, grab a hold of your right wrist and slowly start to lean over toward the left side of your chair. Relax through your shoulders. Breathe deeply. See if you can wiggle out the jaw and release any tension you might be holding and storing there. And breathe into the side body. Keep spinning your chest and heart open toward the right, toward the sky. It doesn't matter if your elbow's bent or you're resting your hands on your head. Make sure everything feels good in your body. Ask yourself, what do I need? What is my core telling me today? On your inhale, come all the way back up. Separate your hands. Exhale, hands come forward. Bring your palms face down on your legs. And again, roll out the shoulders. Ooh, I'm really getting into the shoulders here today. This probably should have been called shoulder awakening class. Give them a little wiggle, shake it out. And then from here, let's bring our legs out just a little bit wider. So knees are pointed out, knees point in the same direction as your toes. If it feels better to keep your feet forward, that's okay. So listen to what you need. For some of us, maybe we start to bring the legs all the way out on either side of the chair. So just depending on how tall the chair is and how tall you are, and also just what feels good for you today. So some of us might be here. And just allow yourself to let go of any judgment. So if you're like, oh, I can't do that, or my body doesn't want to do that today, that's okay. So find the place that feels good. Bring your hands to your hips or on your thighs if you have any obstruction for your elbows. And then you might stay right here as you are. Pull your navel into your spine, press the top or the soles of the feet down into the earth and lift up through the crown of the head. Oh man, I feel that. Everything's activated. So much activation in the core right now. If you'd like a little bit more here today, start to lean forward, come up, lift your booty off of the chair, and then come back down. Lean forward and lift up, and then back down. A few more like this, leaning forward and lifting up and then back down. And just notice what has to turn on in order for you to come up. Breathe deeply. Even if you're out and your feet are out wide, you might lift the hips up and then come back down. And see if you can take it into the center core, the core of the apple in the body, not just the thighs. My thighs are really burning today though, so I'm really feeling it there. Now, go ahead and sit back down if you're here. Again, if you are seated, you're perfectly fine here. You can stay upright. Maybe you lift one leg up and down, and then the opposite, up and down like this. And then my friends if we are lifting our hips up, I would like you to try and lift yourself up without leaning forward. So just lifting and rising without coming forward to lift yourself up. So see if you can. You might lean forward just a tiny little bit and then lift up and come back down. Lift up and down. So it's a straight line up and down. And notice how that changes anything. Can you squeeze the inner thighs in together? Can you pull your navel toward your spine a little bit? Let's do 3 more like this. Last 2. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the hips back down. Woo! Bring the legs forward. And sit back in the chair just a little bit more here. And this next one, we're just gonna find just a little bit of movement, a little bit of flowy movement to release any tension we have in the body. But again, everything's coming from the core space. You might wanna come a little bit more forward here in your chair. Again, feet are rooted flat down on the chair or on the floor. On the chair, that would be quite a trick, right? You can either bring your arms out to the sides or out in front of you, whatever feels best for you. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. As you exhale, let's take a gentle twist to the right. Right hand somewhere behind you or beside you. Left hand to your right leg. Take another inhale. Exhale here. On your inhale, unwind, face forward, reach your arms high. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Left hand somewhere beside you or behind you. Right hand to your left leg. Deep breath in. Exhale here. Inhale, face forward, reach your arms all the way back up. As you exhale, bring your hands to your thighs and gently start to hinge forward. Keep your back flat. So it might just be a couple of inches as you hinge forward. Maybe you come all the way down with your chest toward your thighs, but we're not rounding through the back here today. So just giving yourself a little bit of that integrity through the spine. Maybe you bring your elbows to your thighs. Palms might connect. Pull your navel to your spine. And again, you can always be upright as well. Take all of your awareness to the center line of your body. And as you do, pull your navel in toward the spine a little bit more, but try not to hold your breath. So that's the trick there. A lot of times when we do something like this, we're like, okay, I'm holding. But see if you can continue to breathe. Last 3, 2, and 1. Slowly start to bring yourself back up. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, bring your arms all the way back up. Interlace the fingers, bring your palms up to the sky, relax through your shoulders. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, bring your palms behind your head. All right, so from this space, open up the elbows wide. If they need to come forward, that's fine. Do whatever your body needs. We're gonna take little crunches here. Take an inhale, lift high. Exhale, crunch all the way in. Bring your elbows in, pull the navel toward your spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch it all in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, crunch. Continue to move like this. And even if you are somebody who maybe you do a lot of core work exercises or abdominal work exercises and you're like, yeah, this is the same as being down on the ground or doing sit-ups or something. That's not what it's all about. We're not trying to compare this exercise to anything that we've done before, this movement to any kind of movement before. We're just taking all of our awareness. We're marrying the body and the mind together. So your awareness is not just in your head, but it's in this space of the abdominal muscles, and you start to find that contraction as you come in, and then the gentle release as you come up. A few more times like this. Last 3, 2 more, and 1. Come all the way back up, sweep your arms up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Pause for a moment. You might place your hands on your chest, or maybe you keep your palms connected. Breathe deeply into your core space. And a lot of these movements are really good for releasing extra tension that we might carry with us from sitting in a chair for long periods of time. Even if we can't get up from our chair here today, that's okay. We can move in different ways so that we can find a little bit of fluidity and movement of energy in our bodies, even if we don't have time to get up and take a long walk, or maybe we can't do that, and that's okay too. We're going to do this all one more time. Breathe in deeply and find that space that feels like flow to you. If you would like to keep your eyes closed, feel free to do so. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, let's find a gentle twist to the right. Right hand behind you, left hand to your right leg. Take another inhale. Exhale here, relax your shoulders. Untwist, inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, twist to the other side. Left hand behind you, right hand to your left leg. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale, face forward, reach your arms high. Exhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Slowly start to hinge forward to the degree that feels good for you. You might stay upright. Maybe you bring your elbows down, but see if you can keep your back flat rather than rounding forward. So your chin stays up a little bit here. You might take your palms together if your elbows are on your thighs. Breathe deeply, pull your navel into your spine. And find the flow in your breath. Even if we are still in our physical body, our breath is always moving. Deep breath all the way in. Exhale all the way out. Slowly start to bring yourself back up onto your hands, straighten your spine. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, interlace your fingers, palms face up. Exhale, rest your palms behind your head here, elbows wide. Take an inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, find a crunch. Elbows come in, pull the navel to your spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Maybe you even play this time with keeping the elbows wide and just isolating the movement to the middle part of the body. And notice what happens. Maybe there's a little bit of a difference. Maybe you don't feel a difference at all. Whatever feels best for your body here. Maybe you even uninterlace the fingers and just rest the fingertips on the back of the head. I used to be a abs instructor when I was in college, and that was my big thing. Rather than interlacing the hands behind the head and pulling on the neck, because that's just crunching the neck, we just want our fingertips lightly on the back of the head. So maybe you play with that here. Let's do a few more like this. Last 3. 2 more. And 1. Lift all the way back up, reach your arms to the sky. Full inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, wiggle out the shoulders, hands come down. And let's find a warrior 2 here. So we're gonna take our right leg, bring it over to the right. This might be enough in shape of your body. You can stay right here. If you would like, maybe you start to take your left leg, straighten it out to the left, but make sure your toes are still pointing forward so they're not pointing to the left. This will help protect the knee here. So any direction that you would like, make sure your front right knee is pointed in the same direction as your toes. Maybe you come a little bit further back on the chair, and you might even rest the back of your right thigh on the chair and have your left hip off, your left toes kind of angle a little bit toward the chair here. Reach your arms out wide. So whatever warrior 2 feels good for you. So maybe both knees stay bent and your arms are out. If your arms are getting tired, I say this because my shoulders are getting really tired today. Maybe you bring your elbows toward your ribs and your palms facing up. So that's a nice little alternative too if your shoulders are getting tired. We still find strength. I'm kind of in a little walk like an Egyptian sort of thing here with our palms facing the sky. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Or it's kind of like you have a serving platter on your hands here. And like you're going to give somebody out in front of you a nice drink and somebody behind you a little hors d'oeuvre, palms facing up, or again, full warrior 2. Now in this space, whether your hands are toward your body or out in front of you, we're gonna reach through our right fingertips and then the left. So we're gonna find a little bit of this movement here, forward and back from the space of our core. Again, our elbows can stay in. Maybe it's a little funky and that's okay. Forward and back, forward and back. A couple more like this. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come back into neutral in your warrior 2. Flip your right palm up toward the sky. Take your left hand either to your hip or the outer edge of your left leg. Reach your right arm up, a reverse warrior on our chair. And start to open up through the front side and the right side of your rib cage, the intercostal muscles. Pull your navel in. Integrity here. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly make your way all the way up. Bring your hands together at heart center. Rebend the back knee and slowly make your way back to the front of your chair. Any wiggles that your body needs, go ahead and take it. I'm a big wiggler. I love it. I think it feels great. Wiggle out the hands. And we're going to come back, before we go to the other side, we're going to come back to the open knee. So the open hip stance here on our chair. Don't worry, we're not lifting our hips this time. We're going to take our arms up to the sky. Deep breath in. Interlace the fingers, palms up to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands behind the back, or behind the head once again. Fingertips can be just on the sides of the head here, or you can keep the hands interlaced. I'm not going to be strict with you here. Take an inhale here. Exhale, right elbow starts to come down toward the right, and then come back to center. Inhale, exhale, left elbow comes down. Inhale, and exhale. Now our goal is not to get our elbow to touch our thigh, because if you see when I do this, this is a lot of rainbowing here in the side of the ribs, and it's not really healthy for ourselves just to kind of crunch, just to get the elbow down. So we're just moving side to side. It's nice and gentle. No need to force anything to happen. You might even close the eyes and just move with your breath. Inhaling to come upright and exhaling to crunch to the side. If your hands get tired, you can bring them to your thighs and just lead with the crown of your head. Imagine that you have a marker on the top of your head and you're drawing a little bit of a half moon on the ceiling as you move side to side. And it might seem like a very, very small movement, but all of the little muscles are working here in the sides of our body and the obliques. Let's do one more time to the right. One more time to the left. And make your way all the way back up. Relax your arms down. Come back into center with your feet facing forward. And then bring your toes up toward the sky. And then bring the toes down, lift the heels up. Toes up, and then heels up a couple times like this. And this is our nice gentle reminder also that our core starts at the bottoms of the feet. You might even notice all of the little pressure points of the ground underneath your feet as you rock. How often do you pay attention to your feet? Our feet are literally the furthest things away from our minds. Our minds are up here, our feet are down there. And so can you pay attention here? Just a few more like this. Last 3. 2, undivided attention at the feet. Last 1. Set your feet back down and let's start to make warrior 2 on the left side. So left knee starts to open up. Again, this might be your shape of warrior 2. Maybe it's even here. That's perfectly fine. Whatever feels good for you. Maybe you start to straighten your right leg out. Right toes point forward toward me rather than behind you or out to the right. So we want to keep that integrity here too. You might have to scoot forward on the chair. If you want to come into a different warrior 3, a more supported warrior 3 for the thigh, you might bring yourself all the way back on the chair and have the chair underneath the left thigh. My foot doesn't come all the way to the ground. This chair is a little too high for me here in this position, but that's okay too. So whatever feels best for you. Arms can be out to the sides. Again, even if you're up here, arms reach out. And then if your shoulders are tired today or the arms need a little break, then elbows come in toward the rib cage, palms facing upward like you have a platter of something that you'd like to share. Breathe deeply here. And no matter where you've chosen to bring your arms here today, either down to your sides or out in front of you, let's start to shift forward toward the left knee and then back toward the right foot. So forward and back. And then notice what happens to the hands. Maybe when we come back, we start to teeter forward and back. And so rather than doing this movement of teetering like this, can we just shift forward and back here? Just by reaching the fingertips from one side to the other. Last 3. 2 more. All of your attention on the core of your body. Last 1. Come back into center. Flip your left palm up to the sky. Let's find reverse warrior. Right hand to your right hip or down to your thigh. Reach up through the fingertips, breathe deeply, and make sure you have enough space for your breath. So if you need to ease out of the pose a little bit or take a different stance with your legs, feel free. Make sure that everything feels really good here in your body. Take one more inhale as you stretch back. Exhale, slowly start to make your way back up. Deep breath in your last warrior two. Exhale, gently release your hands down. Let's bring our legs forward, out in front of us. And you might sit back just a little bit more here on the chair, wiggle it out. And from this space, you're either going to pop up onto your right toes with your right heel lifted and then hold onto your thigh or maybe your leg, and this might be plenty. If you'd like to take it a step further, maybe you bring your knee into your chest or toward your chest. You might hold on behind the hamstring as well. Notice if you're starting to lean back, see if you can keep the integrity, pull the navel in toward the spine, working on core from the bottoms of the feet all the way up. Now, if it feels okay for you, maybe you bring the knee all the way into the chest and hold on to the shin. You might even cross the arms here as well. And again, there's no comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? There's no judgment. It's just wherever you are here. Even if you're still down with the toes on the floor, can you find the integrity into the core space? And you again might imagine that there's some energy moving from the bottoms of your feet through the core, up through the crown of your head, kind of this like uplifting energy, as if you have a string attached to the top of your head and it's gently being lifted up toward the ceiling. Lift up just a little bit higher. Take another deep breath in. And exhale out. Now, we're going to cross our right leg over the left leg. If your foot is down, just cross the ankles. If the foot is up and it's okay for you to cross the right leg all the way over, go ahead and do so. Now, if it feels okay for you, my body doesn't like it too much, I'll demonstrate it, but then I'm gonna ease out. Maybe you take your right toes and hook them around your left ankle. Eagle legs with the legs here in seated. I have really sensitive knees, so that's not gonna happen for me today. And again, remember you can keep your ankle in front of the front ankle as well. Let's take our arms out to the sides, palms face up, bend your elbows. And let's take our arms forward, right arm underneath the left arm here. You might bear hug it out, holding on to your shoulders. Maybe you take the backs of the hands and connect them. Maybe you interlace the arms and bring the palms together. My fingertips kind of touch is that my left? Yeah, my left palm here. So whatever feels good for you. So taking an eagle here, sitting down. We're going to take some little eagle crunches, so whatever feels good. Maybe you're wrapping the toes around the ankle. Again, whatever your body needs. If you're in this bear hug, you can keep your elbows down toward your chest. But if you've got eagle arms, either backs of the hands, maybe even the hands are wide, or palms connect. Lift the elbows off of your chest. Take an inhale. You might look up a little bit. Exhale, crunch forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. 3 more like this. Inhale, rise. Exhale, crunch. Last 2. Breathe deeply. 1 more time. Lift up. Exhale, crunch it out. Come back up. Keep your arms as they are. Let's all give ourselves a nice big bear hug. Unwrap the hands if you've got them wrapped. Bring your chin toward your chest, but keep your spine upright. And on your inhale, start to open the arms out wide. Lift the head up. Exhale, bring your hands down, uncross the right leg and bring your foot down to the ground. Last movement for ourselves until we come into our final rest. So take your awareness to your left foot now, and maybe you just bring yourself up onto your tiptoes, lift the heel. You can hold onto the knee or the thigh, and maybe you close your eyes and just find that integrity, that lifting up through the body here. Maybe you start to hug your knee toward your chest. You can hold on behind the hamstring. Notice what happens. Are you leaning way back to compromise? Can you keep yourself upright? Maybe you hold on to the front of the shin and bring the knee toward your chest, but listen to what you need, what your body needs here. And it might be different than the other side too. Unfortunately, our sides are not created equal. So this side might feel a little different than the other, and that's okay. Relax through any tension. Release behind your eyes. If you're clenching your jaw really tight, relax. Lift up through the crown of your head. Maybe even lift up through the corners of your mouth toward the sky. Come back to your core intention. What is it you're inviting in today? Take 1 more inhale here. Exhale fully. Cross your left leg all the way over the right leg, or you can take the ankle in front of the right ankle, whatever feels best for you here. And then again, just depending on what your body needs, maybe you play with taking your left toes and hooking them around the right ankle. Again, my bottom knee doesn't like when I do that, so I'm just going to keep a nice little simple cross here. But there's always options for people who want to take it a little more advanced. Actually, I shouldn't say advanced, just a little bit further, because I feel like yoga, being an advanced yogi doesn't mean going into harder poses. Being an advanced yogi means knowing what your body needs. So we're all advanced yogis here if we stick with what we need here today. So let's bring our arms out to the sides of the rooms, palms facing up, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Bend your elbows so your arms are in goal pose here. And start to bring the arms forward, bring your left arm underneath the right this time. Maybe you bear hug it out. You can hold on to the elbows. You can hold on to your shoulders wherever you find. That's plenty. You can stay here. Maybe you start to take yourself into eagle arms, so hands come out, your hands can stay wide, maybe the backs of the hands connect. Maybe you wrap your forearms around each other and you start to bring your left palm, I have to figure out which arm is which, toward the right palm here. But my fingertips are the ones that reach. Some people can bring their palm up, so whatever feels good. Pause for a moment, reconnect to the core. Bottoms of the feet, inner thighs, pelvic floor, abdominal muscles, low back muscles, all the way up through the crown of the head. And we'll take little crunches here. And again, remember, if you've got your bear hug, you can keep your elbows low as you crunch. If you've got the eagle arms, you might start to lift the elbows up. You might look up, take an inhale. Exhale, crunch it all in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull the navel to your spine as you round the back. 3 more. Last 2. 1 more time. Slowly start to bring yourself back up. 1 more time. What the heck? Why not? Let's all give ourselves a big bear hug here. You might hold onto the shoulders. You can bring the chin down. Deep breath all the way in. Exhale, sigh the breath out. Slowly release your arms, uncross the leg. And just for a moment here, sit back in your chair. You can place your hands flat down on your thighs, or maybe you bring them to your chest or your belly. And just take a moment to notice how you feel after this core activating chair yoga practice. And just ask yourself, what is it that I'd like to invite in for the rest of my day? Maybe it's the same intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of your practice. Maybe there's something new you'd like to invite in. But I invite you, as you move into the rest of your day, always come back to your core, the core of yourself and what you need, the core of what your mind, your emotions, your body needs from one moment to the next, and breathe into that space and honor that. Let's all take a deep breath together. Sigh the breath out. Take your time, and when you feel ready to blink your eyes open and come back into your day, I invite you to do so. Thank you so very much for taking your time to practice chair yoga with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.